All right. Oh, we're over here. I'm watching over here. Jeez, Kale, you got to give us a prompt.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the pregame show here presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. I was busy. I was translating Cyrillic because I know there were people in the chat they could not read what was being read. I was having to translate for them. I'm joined by, the usuals. I got Brednan Vogt over here.
Another smoothie, another dub incoming. Feeling good.
Little ankles.
Little ankles for the
Whoa. On a cold day like this, now you're just pandering.
Over here, I got D-Line Co. You guys know him as Eric.
What's up, guys? I'm ready to watch some Nuggets basketball. Let's go.
Man, that was really low energy.
It's a Monday, huh?
Yeah. Wow, we do have Monday here. I always remember that's what's happening. It's snowy. It's like
I've got big Monday snowy energy.
I'll be honest. I'm faking this energy. I have this exact energy
You're
that you have.
This level of energy?
I'm faking this level. I'm really pushing it to get to the middle here to get to a 4. And then over here, Superstar Johnson.
I'm glad that we're back. It feels like this was like an actual break for me. So I'm excited to see you guys. I'm excited to see you guys. And I'm excited to
see Kale, as always.
And there's Kale.
We got a fun show. Oh, did you actually send me the thing I'm supposed to send to Keith?
I did.
All right, on Game Notes, I'll have to look that up and send that to him. We got Keith Parrish, one of my favorites, Fastbreak Breakfast. He's going to be joining the show here in about 10, 15 minutes, telling us all about the Grizzlies. And I'm going to be honest, one of my questions is going to be, who are these guys?
I know. We've even played them this year.
But I'm saying there's so many guys out that I'm like,
Do you think he'll have an answer?
Maybe not. He too will have the roster in front of him and be like, I don't know. So it's a little bit weird. We're going to talk about pandering. Do you like Aaron Gordon? A-plus panderer. He's very, very good. I kind of like it. We're going to talk. Do you like to be pandered to? And then, of course, a little bit later in the show, Dev has informed us that there are no Memphis Grizzly bets
at the moment.
They might arrive, but he might. I don't know what he's going to do.
Might have to bet on a Nugget, Dev.
But first, we have to take a look at the game notes, and there are a lot of them. To that, we turn to Brednan Vogt.
All right, folks, let's do it. Well, with the Denver Nuggets, the injury report, you probably know it by now. Of course, Jamal Murray is out. Monte Morris, he is out, will not play with that right hamstring. We did talk to Malone about that today. The good news is it is a strain and not a complete tear. The bad news is Malone sounded a little bit pessimistic and said he doesn't expect him to be back for a little bit. That's pretty vague. I do want to note some of that might be a little compensation. Last time Malone told us Monte was on his way back, probably about a week early, and there was 7 more days of his Monte back yet. So I wonder if this is just a little more cautious. But all that said, Monte Morris is out tonight, and the starters are in. Facundo Campazzo will start in Morris's place.
Son of a biscuit.
I know. I got to be honest with you. I knew this was coming, but I'm kind of bummed by it. I'm actually really bummed by that.
Killing me.
Why is it killing you?
Because Facundo Campazzo makes so much sense on the second unit. It works. He works. They work. We work. When he's on the starting unit, he's not ball dominant because that belongs to one Nikola Jokic. So then you have just a super tiny 2-guard essentially that is just essentially useless. And man, that's frustrating.
Is it surprising?
No, in no way is it surprising. But I was hoping that maybe seeing the success that Facundo Campazzo had running that second unit, that you would be like, well, all right, maybe like in the same way that when a starter comes back, they won't put him into his starting lineup right away because like it's been working.
Yeah, like
maybe it makes sense to keep the thing that's working intact and like put PJ Dozier in to start. I don't know.
What do you think, Dev?
I think that it tells you like a glimpse of like what we was going to see in the playoffs of what the direction was going to be. Putting Facu with the starters, like I feel like that kind of pushes you out for PJ Dozier and puts them in a spot now they're going to need that scoring in that second unit. So that's why I feel like they go with Dozier instead of Facu. But also putting Facu with the starters, we already know that the rotation is going to go through MPJ. It's going to go through Nikola Jokic. So now you have a point guard that can actually set those guys up. So I'm not so down on it. Also, if you start out with some momentum that you're desperately going to need, then that like sets the tone, especially against a Memphis team that's like not well right now. And we don't even know who's playing on their side. So I think it makes sense.
See, I'm with Eric on this one. I think
Dev. How does that sound?
Well, one, Facu has started to really play well, I feel like, with that second unit, in part because, as Eric mentioned, the ball's in his hand so much, and I think that's his comfort zone. Like, let him run that unit. He's not selfish. It doesn't stick in his hands. He just gets it where it's supposed to go, and I like sort of the chemistry that they have been building with, especially as they have started putting, Michael Porter Jr. with that second unit to be the scoring punch. Equally as important, you go to PJ Dozier, limited minutes, but I've liked what I've seen from him alongside that starting group. And in particular, one of the things that was so encouraging about the starters with Jamal was that they could switch 1 through 4 defensively. And especially when you talk about going up against a Ja Morant, I like the idea of putting PJ Dozier on Ja, but also just being able to switch everywhere along the court so those pick and rolls don't matter as much. And now you can't do that. With Facu, you're just tiny, so I don't like it. And more importantly, Monte might be out for a while. This is the big news that came across the wire today in Malone's thing. And it makes you, this late into the season, it makes you think, well, you might actually have to prepare for a Monte-less run. And I would feel so much better if that was with PJ Dozier there.
How did we start off with 1,000 guards, and now we have...
It's so funny, isn't it?
I mean,
that's crazy.
That's like early on when you start to talk about, like, why do they need this guy? Why do they need this guy? I mean, like, the war of attrition that the NBA season is, at a certain point, like... people who are in the rotation, out of the rotation, like at a certain point you just need bodies. But my God, like this, all we had were guards, and now we have no guards.
It's actually scary just to hear what Malone said. It wasn't the fact that he just said that Morris is out right now, but he said it might be for a while. Like, what does a while mean, especially with there only being 17 games left in the season?
Fewer.
So what does a while mean? Like,
golly.
Is he going to have to just get ready for the playoffs? And that's
maybe
the first time.
I mean,
that
the way
comes
I
in?
interpreted it is that they're definitely not going to rush him back. Right. So that's if they're on the fence. To me, the big bummer about this injury, I do think either Facu or Dozier, the starters, probably going to be okay. The bench could just use a stretch with some clearly defined roles.
Exactly.
And they haven't had that all season.
That's what they need. That's what Facu does.
An identity.
Yes, an identity. And the one, and I can't stress this enough, you'd rather have Jamal Murray, but the silver lining here is there are some more clearly defined roles. Facu slides into that ball is in my hands, and that group has looked much better. PJ Dozier sort of pressing the right buttons, rarely offensively, Facu running the show. So to me, that's the bummer, is the bench needed this stretch.
Yeah, Facu was really playing well with that second unit, and they were starting to form identity. It had only been 3 games. This isn't like an extended run, but it was enough that you go, hey, all right, something here, finally.
Yeah, this is another one of these things, though, where maybe it's just he starts and then they stagger things.
Of course they will.
Yeah, but it might not mean that as much as we're putting. Like it doesn't necessarily mean.
It's just frustrating.
I agree.
It's snowy out.
I know.
It's a little cold.
I was just gonna say, like, I desperately hope the Denver Nuggets don't have our energy.
I think they probably do. There's just a global energy, but I'll tell you what, Memphis seems to also have that same energy.
Let's get to the Memphis side of this of these game notes here, guys. Jonas Valanciunas, of course, is out in NBA concussion protocol. Jaren Jackson Jr., who was previously listed as doubtful for this game as he nears a return from that left knee meniscus surgery. He is out tonight, after all. Dylan Brooks, previously listed as questionable.
He's shooting 100 times tonight.
Actually, he's out tonight.
Oh, he's out too?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's still shooting.
I was with
he
you
still
on
might
that.
shoot.
Yeah.
He still might shoot 5 times. I don't know.
And as far as I know, guys, that would leave Brandon Clark,
is he in?
Melton, and Justice Winslow as questionable still. I haven't seen an update on them.
Well, Brandon Clark will be a big one because remember he was an X factor in that game for Denver earlier this year. He was really good.
He's
great. And without him, they're really small. And Denver, of course, with Porter and Gordon, you're just so big. Like one of those guys, maybe both would have a huge mismatch. So we'll see. We'll wait for that update to come across the wire. We got to keep it moving though, because over the weekend, Aaron Gordon, God love him. He was asked a question about Jokic being.
Are you calling me God? I love him.
You do love him. You have the love of God from you. That's what I like about you. But pull it up, Kale. He was asked about Jokic, and he answers something in Cyrillic and Serbian here, and I think it means, of course, let's go, or something of the nature there. I've already forgotten my note.
No, I think you nailed it.
Did I nail it? Well, there you go. I am. I did today start studying Serbian. I began today. I'm going to learn it. And today was the first day. I know Gina, I think it's Gina means girl. That's the only thing I've retained so far.
Okay.
It says, let's go.
Of course. Let's go. Exactly. Well, of course, let's go. Let's go, of course. Syntax, whatever. But this is, I got to say, players pander, to their audience.
Yeah.
Is this a 100 out of 100 pander right here?
Well, what I love about this pander is it's not just to Nuggets fans. Of
course.
And this is like really 4D like awareness, you know?
So aware.
The awareness of a guys, who's maybe preparing for a long stay in Denver, pass me the tinfoil hat, but he knows he needs the Serbians on his side. And as they're telling us in the chat, all it took was that one tweet.
Of course, they love him. Are you kidding me?
They're all in.
All in.
First off, a 100 out of 100 pandering event to the Serbians is Dev taking on Serbian citizenship. Serbian's favorite son.
That's full blown.
So like everything after that can only be less than. That's
So
like
he's
an
99.
It's like an 8 out of 8 out of
He's
10.
not quite as good as Dev at this. But pull it up because he has another one when he first got here. This was my personal favorite one. It's more meaningful to me. Sorry, Serbians. But when he says, the biggest surprise is how cool the city is. I didn't realize that Denver is a gem. I think it's slept on how dope the city is. What I loved about this was he had been in the city for like 3 hours.
In lockdown.
In
quarantine or whatever.
I don't even think the weather was that great. Here he is just like, hey, man, yeah.
We gotta search his tweets to make sure he's like, you know what, Orlando.
Oh, definitely.
The Magic Kingdom doesn't stop at the gates. This place is incredible.
But you know what? I don't care because when somebody says something flattering to you that you want to believe, you believe it.
Dude, that's the whole point.
It's the whole point.
If someone will put the effort and the energy into pandering towards me, I will accept it 1,000%. It's all about the thought. The thought that counts. The fact that he cares that what we think and what the Serbians think, that's all I need. That's all I need.
Look, I was kind of afraid to touch this subject a little bit, guys.
Okay.
Because as you know,
Big market vote over
I'm
here.
a bit of a Hall of Fame Denver finesser myself, if we're keeping it real.
are a Denver
And I
finesser.
think the most followers I ever gained in a 24-hour period was when I once tweeted out Denver over LA as a city too, to be honest. After it went over
I
the
gotta
Lakers.
follow you. Hold on.
Yeah, that's it. I'll refollow him, I guess.
I'm all in on pandering. I'm for it. I'm for it.
So here's the thing about pandering, though. To the person being pandered, the panderee will like the pandering. But if you were seeing it from the outside, pull up Nurkic here. I gotta say, this is one of my least favorite panderings you'll ever see. Do you guys know? I don't know how much you guys know about this, about the donut scene in Portland.
Donuts?
Voodoo Donuts is like that's not real Portland. That's fake Portland. And he says over here, one word to describe Voodoo Donuts: overrated. And I'm sitting here thinking, they love. If you look at the replies and quote tweets, they're like, one of us, and it's like, man. First of all, Nurkic is eating donuts. And he's definitely not out there sampling the varieties of donuts and coming to the conclusion that is the one that. And when I saw this one and all the replies, I was like, "You guys, look, he's just pandering."
But that's so smart, like, because you want to just go in and you want to be accepted, like, you really do. Especially being the new guy on a team that already has their own fit, and you already lost the Mr. Panderer in RJ Hampton, so
I know he was a
now you have to like come in and you're like, okay, how did he become liked so much? And he didn't really have to do anything. That's what he did. And now like Eric Gordon is right in the exact same mode, and he does all of the right things. Like, that's just smart.
I feel like Gordon and RJ exchanged notes. Like they were crossing and they were like, "Hey man, what's working?" He's, "Hey, use this one." Like, "Okay, what about me? Here's a line for you."
Aaron told RJ, "You know what? You don't even have to tweet. There's no one out there."
I had a couple here. The Denver's greater than LA thing, like that. If somebody says that to me, I'm just like, "Yeah, you're in the club."
Number one.
Lifetime.
Wait, who said that again?
Well, Vogt did.
That's how I got the Stiffs gig.
The other one, people are chill here. That to me is like a compliment that I'm like, I appreciate. Like, yeah, we are.
We are chill.
We are chill.
There's something about the speed here, the pace.
Yeah,
man.
like, that's
it
right.
really
baby.
works for me. It
Yeah,
really
it's
works
chill.
for me.
I really like by the way, in Nurkic's tweet, he still like sounded like a little bit Voodoo Donut.
Yeah.
One word
You
about
read it?
Voodoo Donut. Overrated.
Overrated.
Way to go, Nurk.
Yeah, way to go. To help us discover what the best way to pander to a new fan base is, we have brought the king of pandering himself. I don't know why I just called him that. It's really not even an apt description. Although he has pandered to me many a times. The host of the Fastbreak Breakfast podcast, my friend Keith. Keith, what's happening, dude?
Hey, what's happening, fellas?
Keith, I'm ready to be pandered to. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that was a perfect cue for you just to butter us up, man, and you came in with nothing.
You guys are my favorite Nuggets pregame
Yeah, there it is.
Money.
Did you hear it?
show. Absolutely iconic.
Wow.
I like
This
to
is
think so
incredible.
myself.
All right, Keith, where do you stand on players, whether they're drafted or traded, whatever, coming in hot and just pandering to their audience?
Well, I'm all for it. I think it's funny when it happens. I thought the example of saying Denver is a chill city
Yeah.
is very close to the thing where a player says something that they don't actually mean. You see a lot of Utah Jazz signees saying like, you know what, I had hesitations about Salt Lake City, but it's a nice, quiet city.
yeah.
And like that's a compliment, but it's not a compliment.
Right. Very relaxed. It's
Keith,
relaxed.
what are you doing right now? Are you saying that Aaron Gordon would have had the same response had he gone to the Utah Jazz?
There's
Called them
no
a
way.
chill city?
I'm just saying every NBA player, when they show up in a city, they're like, oh man, I really love the school system here. It's just like fantastic. Like you can't get better food here. Like, oh man. Like, the people you meet in the organization, there aren't any better people. It's like, okay, it's the same people everywhere, guys. It's the same food. I mean, I know you have your peak food cities, but like, I know I live in a flyover state, but if you're not in one of the big coastal elite cities, there's a lot of uniformity. We all have a Chipotle. Everybody has a Chipotle.
Well, yeah, you do.
Chipotle.
You got that from us. You're welcome, Keith.
Yeah, by the way, Chipotle, Colorado, you are welcome. So how would one, I know that you're not in Memphis, you're in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just ask you about Nashville then. How would one pander to you by complimenting the city of Nashville?
We're taking notes.
Well, I think a common compliment that people just assume is true, you would say, you know, the big thing about being in Nashville, just how friendly everybody is. Just what a friendly city.
All right.
And great food. You get like the breakfast foods, you have your donuts, the biscuits are huge here. Just like you can eat all day and everyone is so nice. And that's like that's the typical pandering. You can also tell me what a music scene. Everyone here is so talented. It's crazy. Your Uber driver has his own album, like or a Grammy even. You know, so those would be the common things that people say nice about Nashville.
Yeah, see, I had the music one for sure I would have guessed. Just as right in and, something about like somebody come in and is like, you know, there's a lot of great music around the world, but I feel like Nashville is just the heart of all the best.
For me, it's about the biscuit-based pandering.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
All my pandering is going to be biscuit-based from here on out. Absolutely.
Like Sweeney Todd.
I was trying to find some other examples. You know, you guys were talking about the pandering. I was Googling, trying to find Grizzlies players who would compliment, you know, because everyone says like, oh, the best fans in the league and the best whatever. Like the food here is great, the barbecue, the people. Biscuits. But the best example I found for a Grizzlies player was someone who actually did not pander. And I thought it was really funny. Chandler Parsons, after he signed,
right,
he's doing all these interviews, and ESPN's like, but I mean, you're known for your nightlife. Like, how is a guy like you, you know, going to get along in a city like Memphis? And he's like, well, clearly that's where I've been read wrong. I came here for basketball reasons only. And on the one hand, you're like, oh, that's cool. The guy loves basketball. But on the other hand, he's like, he just said he doesn't want to come here for the city. He's coming here to play basketball.
He's too lit for Nashville.
Yeah, you think about what he actually means. It's not great. So Keith, you gotta help us out. It says that the Nuggets are taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, but as I look at the roster, I don't know any of these guys. What do we got to look for tonight?
Well, I just got done recording a very long podcast, and I'm now getting up to speed. Am I correct that the Grizzlies are starting two rookies, Desmond Bane and Xavier Tillman?
So what's crazy about this is Desmond Bane actually scares me a lot. So that feels like almost in some ways an upgrade over Dillon Brooks, who I know is better than he showed in the first game, but Dillon Brooks known to take about 50 shots per game. Last I checked, Desmond Bane maybe make more, some more selective.
Well, I mean, all of the Grizzlies' wings have basically been on fire for the month of April. I mean, Dillon Brooks himself is up to 46% on threes this month. The Grizzlies are leading the NBA in offensive rating this month. They're leading the NBA. I think they're maybe third in three-point percentage. So all of a sudden, all the shots are falling. This team tonight is going to look quite different without Jonas Valanciunas in the middle. I mean, Desmond Bane is, if you haven't seen him play very much, he is legitimate. In the Grizzlies' last game, the Bucks were hilariously helping off of him. You just cannot do that. He is fifth in the NBA in three-point percentage. His shot is so beautiful. So, I mean, he's an impressive player. And if you haven't seen him, Xavier Tillman is like really good. And it's comical to be like, all right, Xavier, you've looked really solid for a second-round pick. Why don't you go check Jokic tonight? We're gonna see how that goes. Like, he is a fantastic defender, and as a Grizzlies fan, I'm kind of really geeked up to see if he can get under Jokic's skin. Not that he's like a dirty player. He doesn't shove or he's not like scrappy or anything, but like he's really solid and he's really good at getting strips. He's really good at kind of not falling for pump fakes and other moves. And I mean, Jokic's probably the most gifted offensive center we have in the NBA, but I'm curious to see if like Tillman can get the best of him a couple times. And then maybe we get a little mad Jokic. We get a little, I'm going to do a take foul. I'm going to get myself in foul trouble for no reason. Like that's me crossing my fingers as a Grizzlies fan. Cause it's a tough matchup. I mean, I'm thrilled. The second unit is back. I'm seeing that Melton is active again. Melton, Winslow, and Clark. Those guys on the second unit,
man,
legitimately might be better than who the Grizzlies are starting tonight. I mean, like, I have my questions about the starting lineup. That's a terrible rebounding lineup. Yeah. Tillman is a little bit undersized. Desmond Bane and Grayson Allen are both negative wingspan players. So when you have those guys on the wing alongside Ja Morant, who's not a good defender, also not a good rebounder, I have some big concerns about this Grizzlies starting lineup. But at the very least, you feel the pressure's off when you are missing guys, and you know it's icing on the cake if you do pull out a win.
How big is Tillman? Isn't he Paul Millsap size?
Yeah, I think it's like 6'9" or so. He's like I've been calling him a shorter, unathletic Al Horford, and I mean that as a huge compliment.
Yeah. It kind of is, but all right.
He's like he'll miss some layups. That's like the big hole in his game, maybe. But layups. No joke. He's a great defender, and you don't move him. He's been hitting his 3-pointers this month as well. So if you don't guard him out there, he can make you pay as well.
So here's the big question. Ja Morant is pretty good, but he will be checked tonight by none other than Facundo Campazzo, Mr. All Heart, All Hustle, giving up a little bit of size, maybe a little bit of speed, athleticism, skill, talent, and a couple other things. How do you see that matchup going? Like, Campazzo, does he have a chance against Ja Morant?
He does, and it pains me to say it.
Ooh.
If there's one criticism for Ja Morant, there are times where he seems like he's maybe too cool for when someone's like really bellying up with him and like going hard at him on defense. A lot of times Ja Morant is like, he gives up that vibe of like, I'm not going to really try too hard because I'm like a star and you're not a star. And I feel like he can turn the ball over a lot in those situations and get a little bit frustrated. And I do think the matchup is, like, on paper, it looks like the Grizzlies could dominate. And if the Nuggets can't stop Ja Morant from penetrating, well, then that's going to be really bad for the Nuggets, because the Grizzlies basically are pretty good as long as Ja Morant can get in the lane. It's when they play teams that have a very solid defense or a good point of attack guy. Like when you play the Sixers and they have Ben Simmons they can throw on them. Well, normally when you play the Bucks, if you could put Drew Holiday on them, the Bucks played zone all game last game and just let the Grizzlies destroy them, and that was cool. I liked it. That's fine. So like, if Morant takes, I guess, maybe the challenge seriously that I have to bust this guy, I feel like the Grizzlies could cause some problems for the Nuggets, but I'm a little bit worried Facundo is going to get under his skin and Morant is going to end up with like 6 turnovers and kind of an underwhelming line.
Facu's getting close to getting hit by someone. Lack of a better way to put it.
He's probably going to get punched here very soon.
Yeah,
next couple weeks.
I don't think the Grizzlies have anyone playing tonight who would actually do the punch. I mean, Brooks might, but Brooks is out.
Grayson Allen might be a nut punch. Yeah.
Oh, no. He'll trip you from behind, but he's not going to like punch you. He's not going to square up and look you in the eye and do it. No.
All right. Do you have a prediction tonight? Who wins?
I feel like the Nuggets, they got to be big favorites here. The Grizzlies have won 6 of their last 7 on the road. And like I was saying, they've been totally locked in, but I think missing Dillon Brooks is quite a big deal. And, no Valanciunas, who has just feasted on the offensive glass. He leads the NBA in second chance scoring. He's been averaging 9 points on putbacks in like the last 15 games. Not having him, it's going to be a big difference. If Clark looks healthy again, because his health, he's been out with a hip issue, and before he was out, he looked a little limited. If he's at full strength, they actually can put some really frustrating lineups with like guys who can switch everything and be very athletic. And so
Clark is the X factor, man. If he's back, this is going to be a really tough one, man. He's the X factor.
If they roll out Ja, Melton, John Melton, Kyle Anderson, Clark, and Tillman, like actually that's trouble. Like that,
Sure.
I think that's a 5-man unit that could really put a hurt on the Nuggets. I'm going to say the Grizzlies cover, which I saw they were like 8-point dogs.
Okay.
I do think the Grizzlies cover, but I would think, I'm leaning towards the Nuggets winning, like 4 or 5.
Are you pandering to us?
I gotta say,
I'm not, man. Last time you guys played, I texted Adam. I'm like, you realize you're gonna lose tonight because like the Grizzlies are playing really well, and I don't think your guys are ready for how good the Grizzlies are playing right now because they're really tough on defense, and I don't have that same confidence going into this game.
Okay.
Our commenters want you to know that you nailed the pandering trifecta with Jokic just too good, Facu can shut down Ja, and Nuggets win.
Hey, great job.
Yeah,
That's why
you're
he's
a
the
legend.
best, guys.
Right.
That's why he's the best.
Unbelievable.
Check out the Fastbreak Breakfast podcast. Fantastic. My guy, Keith. Thanks so much,
Thanks,
buddy.
brother.
Coming in hot like
Thanks,
a
fellas.
biscuit.
Good to see you.
All right, to wrap it up, now we got to make some money. I feel like we got some really good intel right there. Some things I wasn't necessarily thinking about, but we got that perspective on it, and it's really going to help Dev as he advises us here. Open up DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's make some money.
So just to look at the line, it's 7.5, which he was right. It started at 8. The Ja Morant and everyone else coming in, I guess it only mattered for a point or half a point.
Yeah.
It's all that mattered. I still do think that the Nuggets roll in this one. I feel like they're going to play inspired ball. I mean, it's a case of the Mondays, but it's for both teams.
Okay.
So I mean, that's not my lock, but I do feel comfortable with the Nuggets.
All right.
Let's go over to props,
Okay.
which we always love.
We're a prop-based program.
One thing that really stands out that D-line actually talks about is the fact that DraftKings just does not care. They're
don't
just
care.
like, hey, take this money. Just go take the money.
They don't learn from their
have not-
mistakes.
they have not moved Michael Porter Jr. 2.5 threes.
Oh, man.
They still have not moved that,
They won't-
and we
what
don't
do you-
understand why.
They're asleep at the wheel. DraftKings.
So they clearly don't care about losing money.
All right.
So,
Threw a unit on it.
so we're going to go on that.
It's only minus 103. Not only
I
did they not
know.
move it, they kind of lowered it. I feel
They're
like being a
favored.
sucker over here. What's going on?
It
When the
actually
deals are
feels
too
like
good
a
to be
setup.
true, it does feel like a
Feels
setup.
like a setup.
Okay.
And then one that actually like stands out for me is points, rebounds, and assists. This is my lock. Points,
Okay.
rebounds, and assists for Will Barton.
Ooh.
It's
Really?
it's at 22.5
Okay.
for points, rebounds, and assists. This is also, I mean, I always say that Memphis is like his home. He really
Yeah.
tries to play hard against them.
Great point.
But also, it's Facu in the lineup. And, like they're going to put so much attention on trying to stop Jokic that I feel like lanes are going to be open and there's going to
Okay.
be shots to be open. And I feel like it's going to be Michael Porter Jr. and Will Barton that's going to be hitting those shots.
Okay.
Them setting it that low just seems like a gimme.
Dude, the Barton and Memphis ankle is great. That's what he talked about last time after playing well here.
He really loves it. Like he takes pride.
I mean,
into
I
playing
know
there.
it's not in Memphis, but just that sort of matchup
Yep,
is
yep. And then also, I mean, it's not on DraftKings, but I got it in earlier.
Oh.
Ja Morant, points, rebounds, and assists.
So you're just essentially bragging right now?
Yes. Ja Morant, points, rebounds, and assists. It was only set at 29.5.
Oh, you're going to make that.
I feel like he has to go he's going to have no choice but to play like hard and well. And they've been winning games. They feel like this is a winnable game for them because they're playing without Jamal Murray. They don't have Monte Morris. And I think he also tries to attack Facu, even though I don't think it's going to work. I think that he will like find ways to score and do things like that. So,
Man, I think I might get in this Nikola Jokic double-double. The odds are really good. It's minus 835.
What about triple-double? What do we got for triple-double Jokic tonight? Plus 110.
That's not great either, man.
You don't think so? Even
Well-
though is he going to get one? He's been getting one every game.
it has
So-
to be the small one, though, like the 10, 10, 10.
Why?
Yo,
You don't think he's going to score?
We're in the
it could be a
blowout zone,
blowout.
dude. We're in the blowout
Oh, you think there's
zone.
going to be we think this is a blowout? Wow, you guys are feeling really confident. Memphis is good. They're the most disrespected team in the
well,
NBA.
they've been on a tear, but
But it's different
they're down
people.
some important pieces.
They're different
yeah.
people now.
They're I know. That's what I'm saying. He's got a murder. What about? I'm looking at points for Jokic. It's only 25.5 below his average. No touch. Stay away.
I don't know,
I just
man.
feel like with them, he knows he can score whenever he wants against a team like this. So he gets it done and like the
Get his
assist.
rebounds,
Well,
man.
yeah, like he does something else. I think this is a game he tries to make sure that everyone else is happy because they're going to be up. I really don't think this is like a Jokic takeover game, but
All right.
that's just me. But at the same time, I do think that he does the rebounds, he does the assists. I think it's like one of those close triple doubles
Yeah,
where
I
he
just
doesn't
got-
play a lot.
I just got that triple-double. I think so, too. His rebounds are going to be a lot.
Easy.
I mean, it's high. The line
be.
is high. It's 11.5. But
That-
I like Michael Porter double-double plus 145. I think, yeah. I mean, if there's rebounds to be had, Michael Porter's going to find them.
The commenters are pointing out that this team starts slow after long breaks. At these couple of days off, it's not like they come out and they hit the ground running.
I feel like we don't have that many bets out tonight. I guess it is a little weird. There are just so many moving parts.
Dude.
Monday vibe. You don't want to just get a little crazy? Should we put a first quarter bet on just to get crazy?
Oh, man.
Let's just get a little crazy together here. Get some good vibes. Nuggets 2.5 is the line. How are we feeling? First quarter.
That sounds crazy, dude.
Our crowd said that the Nuggets start out slow,
know,
so
it
you
kinda
would not
scares
go
me.
with them.
You take Memphis? We're going to take under 55.5? Take a little ugly, grind it out
You dragged
game?
us into the bummer zone here.
play.
Under 55.5, whatever. All right, we're doing it. Put a unit just to get money in the game.
Is there a third
First
quarter line? I love Denver in the third quarter today. Which
All right, guys. Game's getting ready to get started. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit that like button on the way out. We're going to be back in the post-game lounge. Rain, shine, or snow.
It will be snowing.
It'll be snow.
Yeah.
It'll be snow. We'll see you guys then.